Hello everyone, thanks for joining me back on StubbleMeetsSteel. I had so much fun doing the brass razor comparison the other day. I said, how can I keep this going with some of the stuff that I was loaned? And one of them obviously was the Aylsworth Kopparkant, and this one is the more aggressive, the plus plate. And I had recently gotten the Goodfellas Stiletto and I really liked that, and I was talking to one of my buddies and I asked him how he liked the Goodfellas Bayonetta, and he said, I'll sell you mine. So he gave me a smoking deal on this, and again, it was another one of those brass razors that I kept seeing. I was like, man, that looks pretty cool. I like that antique distressed look that the old world the brass has. And I thought it'd be kind of a fun comparison because for me anyways, the Aylsworth Kopparkant plus plate and this Bayonetta seem to shave pretty similar. I would categorize them in the medium aggressive razor category. So I've got some Bic Astor blades loaded up in there. I like those better than the Bic Super Chromes. And I've got my homemade wood brush here, and I've got the Sinbad 8-piece shave co knot in there. For today's soap, I don't know if I've used this one on my channel. If I have, it's been a long time. This is one of the first soaps that I had bought. This is Ariana and Evans SoCal Hipster. And for me, the most predominant notes are mango and passion fruit. And it does have an interesting kind of sweetness to it. And I think maybe that is the pineapple that I'm smelling there. I was kind of hoping for more pineapple when I got it. I think it also has pink peppercorn, but I don't really get that, and some musk and something else. I'll put the scent notes up. But one of the things that I love about this soap is this particular one seems to have even more cushion than the others, even though they're all K2E based. This one just has always been super dense and super slick and get a great lather with it easily. So I thought I'd use this today since these are more aggressive razors than what I normally use. I could run and gun with that, but let's put a tiny bit more water in there just for the heck of it, see what happens. All right, I'm happy with that. Let's start off with the Bayonetta. They look so similar. I'm going to try to separate them on the counter pretty good there. Decent amount of blade feel on the Bayonetta, but it does smooth out, riding the top cap quite a bit. Nice first pass. Definitely picking up the extra cushion that soap has, which is one of the reasons I chose it. I definitely find that there's some soaps that definitely have more cushion than others, even though they're all tallow based and artisan premium soaps that I've got for the most part. There's just a few that stand out, and those are the ones that I gravitate towards, and I've got more aggressive razors, and it definitely seems to make a difference. All right, nice and slick. Felt like the Aylsworth was a little bit smoother on the first pass. Bayonetta felt nice there, even on the sensitive part of my neck. Definitely have to give it to the Bayonetta there on against the grain. I didn't really like how the Aylsworth felt right there, even pulling the skin off to the side. Right there on the Adam's apple, it still felt a little bit too much with the Aylsworth. All right, let's do across the grain. Put a little water in that. Bayonetta felt manageable there on my mustache, sometimes not so much with other razors. All right, third and final pass against the grain. All right, Kopparkant side. All right, I'm clean up under my nose here. Go ahead and spray down here. Just some water. Very, very comparable. Maybe a tiny bit less on the Aylsworth side, but negligibly so. Let me go ahead and get cleaned up here. All right, I'm gonna rinse up and get cleaned up. I'll be right back. All right, I'm gonna put on some witch hazel here while we're talking. And then for today's splash, I've got Sterling's iced pineapple. It'll go well with the pineapple scent in the SoCal hipsters. So back to more important things, back to these razors and what do I think of them? Well, you know what? Again, it is kind of personal preference. This is a very, very close race between these two. You know, my buddy and I were talking about these some of these more aggressive razors, and the Aylsworth and the with the Kopparkant with the plus plate, to me, is one of those razors that's a tricky one to shave with. And what I mean by tricky is 1 minute it's pretty damn smooth and I'm really enjoying it, and then the next second it nicks me or cuts me, and I didn't really feel like it did anything to warrant it. Whereas with the Bayonetta, you know, it is on the same aggressiveness as this, but I find that it's much easier to control, and I like how I can ride the top cap and kind of come in with more of a shallow angle, and it smooths out what aggressiveness it has pretty nicely. It's quite a decent change by riding the top cap. Whereas with the Aylsworth, you know, I don't find that I can change the shaving characteristic very much. It's basically, you know, one setting, so to speak. On that note, I did find that the shaving angle of the Kopparkant was not nearly as intuitive as the Bayonetta. I found the Bayonetta much easier to find and maintain the shaving angle. Obviously, you know, I'm shaving with two different razors. I shave with almost a different razor every single day. So you use one razor every day, day in, day out, that'll be a moot point. You'll get used to the shaving angle. But I do like that it's much easier to kind of just get on point and find it with the Bayonetta. I can't remember if I said that I would put up the blade gaps. I want to say the Bayonetta is a 0.55, believe it or not. It does have a positive blade exposure, whereas the Kopparkant is a 0.99. So you would think it'd be way more aggressive. But another point that I've noticed is sometimes with these razors, I've noticed as the aggression goes up, oddly, they kind of get smoother, but they're like this Kopparkant where it gets smoother until it's not, and then it bites me. And you know, that's where I find that these medium aggression razors are not my favorite. I feel like I have to be careful with them. I did find that what I found before, by using a really dense soap that I have a lot of cushion with, like the K2E by Arion and Evans, it definitely helps take the edge off of these more aggressive razors for sure. You know, normally I was really on eggshells, being honest, with this Kopparkant Plus plate, but this particular shave is probably the best one I've had, honestly. So both really great razors. I really like the look of both of them. A point I wanted to mention was somebody had complained that while the looks of this Kopparkant handle, the rocket look, so to speak, are really cool, they disliked this tapered down section here. They felt that it basically forced your fingers to either, you know, go in the middle here. They said, you know, unless you choke way up on it, that your fingers would naturally kind of gravitate towards this part. And I did notice that a tiny bit more today. Not a huge thing, but, you know, it never really stood out to me before, but I kind of did notice that a little bit. Whereas the uniform shape of this that doesn't have the taper to it on the Bayonetta, you don't have that. It's easy to grip wherever you want, and you can control where exactly on the handle you hold. Whereas this particular shape might look really cool, but I kind of noticed that it does want you to gravitate to different spots on the handle. But overall, there is a little bit of a price difference on these, so you know, it depends on what your budget is. The Bayonetta is about just shy of $60, where the Kopparkant is about $100. So a little bit of a difference there. Obviously, they're both brass, so they both have that cool heat retention if you warm them up under some hot water, and they give that cool two-faced personality as far as you can shine them up and get a cool gold bling to it, or if you let them go, you can get that really vintage looking distressed patina look to it too. So it depends on what you do to them. You can get kind of two razors for one looks wise there. I do enjoy both of these razors, but you know, there was times again where the Aylsworth was smoother at particular times, but then there was points where I felt like I liked the Bayonetta overall just a tiny bit more. That would kind of be my pick for myself personally. I felt that a little bit extra blade feel on the Kopparkant is just a little bit harder for me to work with. I have to just be that much more careful. But overall, I do like them both. But if I had to pick one myself, I would probably go with the Bayonetta. Would be my pick of the day. So there's my 2 cents on these brass razors. And check out my comments section, or with the info rather. And I've got some discount codes and some razors for sale. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not a subscriber yet. And thanks for watching. I'll talk to everybody in the comments, and I'll see everybody soon.